You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Who are you?
Does anybody else watch The Masked Singer? Because
nobody else watches it. We're the only ones.
No, I mean in our group.
I'm sure there probably are a lot of people that watch it. Anyway, here, let me adjust this real quick. What is happening, everybody? It's Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It is Wednesday. It's Boss Up and List Day, but it's also Boss Up and List Day.
We think it's Wednesday.
We're pretty sure it's Wednesday, Boss Up and List Day, but in the middle of quarantine. So anyway, what's our normal routine? What's the normal Boss Up and List Day all about?
So our normal Boss Up and List Day is an all-day virtual listing party that we host in the Boss Facebook group, which is the Facebook group that we help run with Teresa and a few other fantastic moderators. The link to the group is down below. It's basically where we all get together on a specific day and talk about our business goals for the day or for the week, and we hold one another accountable around the virtual water cooler, if you were. And talk about what we're trying to do for the week. And it's a way to hold each other accountable. So the past few weeks, Boss Up and List Day has kind of been our check-in day where we talk to our other resellers in this world of lockdown, quarantine, COVID madness.
Yeah.
We're kind of adjusting to a different type of reseller life. I think most of us, since we can't go out sourcing. And for some of you that have death piles, this is a good thing because you're able to get through the stuff you have in your house.
Yeah.
For those of us without death piles, well, I'm not feeling so smug these days, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like normally, like in normal life, we're kind of balls to the wall, like working all the time. You know, we push ourselves pretty hard, and then but now because we don't have those death piles and stuff like that, you know, it's like we've had to kind of slow things down. But we are kind of getting into I don't know if this is sorry, our TV or the screen is buffering, but I don't think it is for everybody else. Anyway, so we've had to kind of slow things down for the last few weeks and really like ration our listings and but we've also at the same time over like I'd say like the last week and a half or so been like, okay, this is it. This is the new normal. We don't know how long this is going to last. And I've ordered a ton of stuff from other people and from like eBay and Mercari and stuff like that. And you've done the same. And so now it's like we've got some stuff rolling in so we can kind of get back.
Yeah, I have sourced well over 300 pieces of inventory from fellow resellers. In the past 10 days. I will say I am broke because I have spent a lot more than I normally do.
Yeah.
Just when you add in shipping and per item cost, and not, you know, no obvious home runs that I've seen, because hey, let's face it, if you've got a home run, you're going to sell it yourself, right? But I've sourced from other people's death piles. So I'm good for a little while. I mean, I'm set for the next month. I'm actually going to have Crystal come and pick some stuff up on Monday. We will practice social distancing. I'll probably meet her outside and bring everything out to her and help her load it into her van. But I've gotten enough, or I will have over the next few days, that I can actually have some work for Crystal too. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I've got stuff coming in too. I mean, I do have options still here in Vegas. Like I've said before, you know, I could still meet up with Jesse probably with yesterday's fits and pick up stuff. But the thing is, it's like with these uncertain times and with sales, sales are down for me somewhat. It's harder for me.
They're down quite a bit for me too.
Yeah, it's harder for me to spend, like pay up as much as I would have before. Like before, you know, I was totally fine with spending $20, $30, $40 even for like a t-shirt that I know I can flip for a lot. But it's like I can't.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit more careful.
I have to be more careful because I don't know. Like I'm okay right now, but I don't know if in like a couple weeks from now it's like the bottom's going to drop out. I don't know. So
yeah. So we're being a little bit more careful.
So I'm doing lots of trolling like eBay and trying to find like good t-shirt lots and stuff like that. And so I do actually have quite a bit of stuff coming in.
I bit the bullet. I will say I bit the bullet and purchased quite a lot of inventory, all clothing, which we all know that I'm not crazy about doing all clothing. My inventory is 50% clothing, but it obviously is not feasible to purchase hard goods for the most part and have people ship them to you. It's just, you know, I don't even care if you're in the same town. It's just too expensive. I was able to get a bunch of hard goods from Barry. We went and sourced with Barry on Sunday. His nephew let us into his storage locker. We went gloved and masked up and sourced the storage locker by ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And then so appreciative of the local connection.
Yeah, for sure.
So I did get some hard goods that way, and I had purchased some hard goods 2 weeks ago. So now I'm getting to I'm going to do some photography today and get all that stuff listed before the influx comes in.
So you're going to be doing photographs, and I am going to be ending a bunch of old listings and doing sell similar and just refreshing some stuff on my different platforms. And then probably tomorrow is when I'm going to take pictures of a bunch of the stuff that I've had come in now. But as far as today's show goes, guys, I don't know if you watch The Masked Singer at all. Some of you said
I see that our guest is in the chat.
Yep, we got right here in the chat, Chicken Not So Little. So we're kind of doing a play on The Masked Singer, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's a success or maybe it's a huge flop. I don't know. We'll see.
I think Marie might be a little bit unsure because bringing some sanity. I'm not so sure that this show is very sane.
I don't know.
We're very sane right now.
But so we're gonna try this out, and so basically we have a mystery guest who is masked, and some of you are actually going to know who this person is. Some of you aren't necessarily going to know who this person is. So the way we're going to do this is we're actually going to ask you guys to ask the questions. They need to be yes or no questions. We will pick the ones out of the chat to ask. And here are the couple of things that we're trying to figure out, other than just who this person is.
Which some of you may know. Some of you may know the seller, and some of you may not. And that's okay if you don't know who it is specifically.
So we're going to start out, and we're going to try to figure out what state this person is in the U.S. So what state our mystery guest is in. So you're going to be asking yes or no questions. And also, prior to being a reseller, this person had a long career in something that had nothing to do with reselling. And so we're going to guess what state this person's in, and also what their career was prior to being a reseller. And so we're going to see if we can figure that out. And if it's all flop, we don't know. We don't know if it's going to take 10 minutes, if it's going to take 5 minutes, and then we're going to have them take their mask off, and then we'll just get into a regular fun time discussion.
I mean, on the mystery, obviously, on the Masked Singer, we have them sing. I'm not so sure if this guest is a singer or not. This person is it. The chicken is doing this right now.
Chicken Not So Little will not be doing any singing. All right, let's go ahead and bring Chicken Not So Little in here. The masked seller. Oh. So the masked seller will not be talking at all during this part. So yes, Chicken Not So Little says no clucking way, no singing.
That we caught the chicken typing as we went and brought the camera over.
So let's start with our first question. Kara Cooper wants to know, were you a pole dancer? And the answer to that is no. Also, I would like Not So Chicken Little to show us their awesome shirt, because it's pretty amazing. I don't know if you want to, I don't know if you guys can see. You're like, oh, look at that nice kind of pink. Whoa, what is that? That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Yep. I think that Not So Chicken Little has really let themselves go during this quarantine.
The waxing businesses are closed, so you know.
All right, so Pacific 49 wants to know if Chicken Not So Little is a female. And yes, the answer is yes. So keep asking the questions, guys. Yes or no questions. Rose's Closet wants to know which came first, chicken or the egg. I don't think that's a yes or no question. So, but yes, that is the mystery that we all know. The answer is no. All right, guys. So again, we're trying to find out what state our masked seller is in and what their career was before this. So ask some questions. Lynn wants to know, are you from Florida? Now remember, you can, see, so some people are asking specific states. Do you live in Alaska?
Let her answer.
I know. Okay, so I like these questions. So Chris Bradley wants to know, are you in a cold climate? So yes, no, yes, no.
It depends on the day, maybe?
I'm going to say that depends. So let's see. Are you from down south? Nature Girl 2110 wants to know. No. Susie Biatch, our favorite Susie Biatch. Are you from Arizona? No. Ooh, Chris Brown has a question. Did you have storms last night? I don't know. Where were there storms last night? No. No. Okay. Okay. Do you have
wait, there's some good questions.
Okay. Well, you tell us which question do you want? Mother Deals wants to know. That's a good question. Mother Deal wants to know, do you like red? Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. So what is the show me state? What's that? Are you from the show me state?
What state is that? I don't even know.
No. Sandra wanted to know that one.
Okay.
No. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Which one? Susie wants to know, are you in Vegas? We're just gonna like run through all the states and all the towns and stuff. Let's see. I think somebody had asked also if you were a healthcare professional. Susan wants to know. No, not a healthcare professional.
Melly X says you guys have lost it. Yes. Yes, we have.
It's true. It's true. Are you near casinos? Are there any states that don't have casinos now? Yes. Yes, no. Yes, no, yes. Yes, no.
Kinda, sorta. I'm gonna go with that's a kinda, sorta.
All right, Liz Blankenship wants to know if you're from the Midwest. All right. No, not from the Midwest.
Are you guys keeping track?
Yeah. Jillian wants to know, do you sell clothes? Yes. Yes, that's true. I like the way the sign like kind of goes across the screen. Mother Deals. Oh, good question, Mother Deals. Are you married? Yes. So that answers Susie Beach's question. Are you T-Money? No. Oh, I like the little beak action there. Nope, not T-Money. Not T-Money. All right. Let's see. Was your prior profession legal?
Chris, get your mind out of the gutter.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Brookwick wants to know, are you in an Eastern time zone? No. Kara, we already answered. She is in the USA. Yes, she's in the US state. Let's see. Marie wants to know, do you have your own YouTube channel? No. No. The answer to that is no. All right. Pacific 49 wants to know, is it Sandra? I like Susie's question. Are you free range? Yes, no, not right now. California. Are you in California? All right, we're gonna get, here's a good answer right here. Chris Brown wants to know, are you in Colorado? Yes. All right, so we got one of the questions answered. Our mystery guest, Chicken Not So Little, is in Colorado.
Chris Brown, you win. Chris or Julie,
absolutely nothing.
Nope, I'm sending hand sanitizer to you.
Oh, okay.
That's like gold.
All right, Colorado. So let's try to guess. We got to try to figure out what Chicken Not So Little did before reselling. We need some more questions around what she did for a career. And Melly wants to know if you can make her an omelet. I'm going to say, Melly, that's disgusting. Karen wants to know, were you a part of corporate America?
Good question.
Very good question. And Jillian says, hand sanitizer, shit just got real. Okay, Jillian wants to know, were you in insurance? No. Was it an office job? Oh boy. We got a question right here. Should we ask this one? All right, here we go. Question, was she in the Air Force? Oh, we got it. We got it. Okay, so
Corey, I already gave you a bunch of hand sanitizer.
so Chicken Not So Little lives in Colorado, is married, was in the Air Force. Okay, so
Wait.
now we know. Kelly wants to know, are you a member of the Boss Facebook group? Yes. Oh, I think we just got our first guess, our first real guess. We got a couple of them. Corey, you got it right, but we're going to bring up G. Jasso's answer. Liz, okay, what? All right, you can go ahead and take it off.
Oh. Well, that was faster than I thought.
Well, you can only go so
Great
long.
question. Yeah.
What's
That's
happening?
pretty good.
Now, can we talk about the nipples that are in your armpits?
I'm sorry, what now?
Look, I don't know about this shirt. So I picked this shirt today just because, well, I mean, it's Katie and Vicky's show, right?
Yeah.
So it's, oh, man.
That's a fantastic.
But I don't know what they were thinking, but my hairy nipples are in my armpit. I don't know what's going on here.
Show the back of the shirt. You gotta turn around.
Okay.
We gotta see the back.
Okay.
Turn. Can we see it? Oh wait, yeah, there you go.
The butt crack.
My son came out of his room. My son came out of his room and saw this, and he says, no, and he walked back in his room. So I think you're going to keep it on all day, and I have a Zoom meeting with my meetup group later today. I think I'll probably just leave it on and maybe take the dogs for a walk in it. I don't know.
I like the taking the dogs for a walk in it.
All right, so Liz, anyone who doesn't know Liz, she is one of the admins in the Boss Facebook group. So she is a member and also one of the admins. And you don't have a YouTube channel, but you have been on quite a few different YouTube shows.
Mm-hmm. And Stephen Stewart wanted to know, are we using StreamYard? Yes, we are using StreamYard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we have the paid version, but there is a free.
I mean, the paid version really, it's just so we don't have to have their watermark on there. The free version is pretty good too. But anyway, so you were in the Air Force. How long were you in the Air Force?
23 years.
Holy cannoli. That's crazy.
Why did it suddenly get dark?
I don't know. It got really dark here.
We're supposed to have storms this week, so
yeah, apparently.
What else is new? We've got the plague. Why not the apocalypse?
But you were career Air Force, but you got out a few years ago, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and then how long have you been reselling?
So did part-time since 2002 and then went full-time a little over 3 years ago.
So you were still in the Air Force. How did you even get into reselling in the first place?
You know what? I was talking to some friends the other day and we just made a joke. I was home on maternity leave and I heard of a thing called eBay and I didn't need my maternity pants anymore. So I sold them for double what I paid for them after I'd worn them. And it kind of got me hooked. So basically my store was based off a pair of maternity pants.
Oh, okay. Ridiculous. What are you doing? Get off of there.
Our friend Jason and Jenny are coming by and they were going to beep so we could go outside and yell at each other from the car so we could have some social distancing, say hello like lunatics. And I said, I'm sorry, we're doing our show right now, so we can't even come outside and wave at our friends. They had an appointment that was in town, so they were coming by.
Lame. Anyway, so you were working, you were an officer in the Air Force and you were reselling at the same time. Did you retire at the time you were planning to? Like, because some people were asking why the career shift.
Yeah, so I was Air Force, I was enlisted. People just say, when it's time, if you want to retire, you do 20. We stayed on until 23. I liked my boss, I liked my job. It was comfortable at about that 22-year mark. It was time. It was just time. You feel it. That last year, we go through what's called a transition assistance program, to where they take a week and they walk you through how to transition from military to civilian. And the whole time, I'm looking at jobs. I'm looking at Department of Defense jobs. I'm looking at civilian jobs. And none of them just sounded appealing. I'm like, I still have to get up. I still have to go work for someone else. I still have to go make other people money. weekends, nights, and I didn't want that anymore. Just really. And I just talked to my husband, I was like, let me just ramp it up. So my last year, I said, I'm just going to do this my last year, and I'm going to ramp it up and see how it goes. And I was able to work full time during the day, come home, and on the weekends and in the evenings, kind of ramp up my store. At the time, I probably started with like 150, 200 listings and took that entire year and built it up. I think I got up to about 600 listings because there was, I was a no return seller. I was 3 days handling simply because I didn't know if I'd be able to make it to the post office every day. Sometimes I worked a 70-hour week and sometimes I worked a 30-hour week. That was just the way my job was. But I saw that even though I wasn't following best practices, I was still able to build and make some sales, but I was succeeding at it. So that's when I just said, forget it. I'm just doing this full time.
Awesome. Any regrets?
I'm sorry?
Any regrets?
You know what? The one thing that not really a regret, but if I had to do it over again, I would leave the service right at 20 years.
Yeah.
That's fair. So when you were in the service, you wore many different hats, and we've personally had this conversation before. But tell some of the people in the chat some of the things that you used to do when you were in the service.
Oh, I started out in food service. I then went on to recruiting. So I did food service for 5 years. I did recruiting for 9 years. And then I went back and did food service for a year. I did 2 years, almost 2 years of national, international protocol. And then the rest was as what we call an enlisted aide. It's basically a household manager, event planner for 3- and 4-star generals.
Awesome.
I think that's pretty cool.
I think it was not a traditional career.
Yeah.
I had far from a traditional career.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever get to wear T-shirts with hairy man body on them?
Only underneath my uniform.
Now, when you talk about food service, I know we've talked. So you've done a lot of you've had a lot of like culinary training to do what you're doing. We're not just talking like you were making mashed potatoes by the vat,
For the first 5 years, it pretty much was.
Yeah,
it was pumping out eggs for 300 and 400 and 500 people at a time, deploying and doing the same thing in a tent. When I came on as an enlisted aide, that's basically, there's so much more to it, but basically general officers are required to host events in their house for national, international guests that are in town. So they send us to to advanced culinary training throughout the Department of Defense, and then what's called Pro Chef certification through the Culinary Institute of America.
Interesting.
Pro Chef 1, and I hate cooking. Hate it.
I'm with you. I hate cooking too.
Yep. We're having brats tonight on the grill. We're like, I'm not, all my friends that are do this, they're showing all these elaborate meals, and I'm like, I had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I know Rick has been like doing, we're friends with him on Facebook, and he's always posting these pictures of like these ridiculous, Rick Doran, ridiculous, but he's like doing like really fancy stuff with like bananas, and then like, and he's plating it and doing like the little sauce flourishes and everything.
For just himself too. He's making himself real happy. Because he lives alone. I'm like, he's making these very elaborate, beautiful meals for I don't know what. I'm like, I just had chips and dip for dinner. I'm like,
yeah. I see people in there saying, I don't miss food service. You know what? I loved it when I did it. I had fun when I did it. I enjoyed what I did. It's hard work. It's hard on the mind. I was full circle. I did the planning, the shopping, the cooking, the setup. And it wears on your body. It really does.
So now you're reselling full time. One of the questions somebody asked was if you sold clothes, and you said yes. Do you only sell clothes? Like what kind of stuff do you sell?
So over the years, I've just kind of transitioned. I used to only use clothing. Now I'm about 80% clothing and 20% other stuff.
Okay.
Whatever I can get my hands on, linens, some hard goods. And I think probably at least half of it's new. So a lot of retail arbitrage got thrown in there.
All right. So what do you what's like your favorite? Like if somebody called you up and was like, I have the storage locker and it's full of X, what would be the most exciting thing for you to hear that you have like a whole bunch of
Linens.
linens?
They're
Like
easier to picture.
vintage?
What's that?
Like new or vintage or what kind?
Both. Really,
Yeah.
whatever makes the money. I'm not, if I can picture it easy, if I can get it listed easy, you know, there's a lot of times we're all different sellers, right? So like we have the sellers that are, you know, I like the vintage, I like the hard goods. I like to have one item and sell for hundreds of dollars, or I'm kind of in the middle. Like when I go used, I'm not going to pick out stuff to sell for $10, $15.
Right.
I like the higher stuff, but I have found a source for new items. And if I can get 50 of the same things, but my profit margin's lower, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm kind of in between. I can see both sides of it.
I've been shopping with Liz, and I will say that Liz gave me a whole bunch of tips over this in the fall when we were in Phoenix. We all stayed with Teresa for a weekend, and we had a lot of fun. I mean, we laughed a lot. We had a lot of fun.
Yes.
But you know, I'm not going to give away her secrets, obviously, but she gave me a couple of tips for a resource that I had never used before. And I still don't understand how you do it because that damn place confuses the hell out of me. So, I mean, more power to you because you have it nailed down and you source very well from that place and do really well with it. And that's just not my thing at all.
All right. So a couple of questions about linens. Susie wants to know why linens and any brand of linens.
The ones that I've been able to get my hands on have been stupidly low priced. So Restoration Hardware, I have a source of people that when they mark it down below clearance and it goes on sale, they will text me. And
wait,
say,
Restoration Hardware does linens?
Yeah, it's like a Pottery Barn, but higher end Pottery Barn.
I mean, I've been there. I've been there before. I've just never seen the linens.
Okay, so they sell furniture and home decor and
linens, and they're crazy expensive, like crazy expensive.
I mean, and I will tell you that the market dropped way down on it. So, and I don't mind, I guess, reseller tip. We have an outlet store. I'm friends with the manager. I have made friends with the manager, but they will do stupid sales and every store gets different merchandise. So they may get 150 of all the same pillow sham that retails for $180 for one pillow sham. And they'll have a markdown to $10. And then it'll be 50% off. And then I get 20% off.
Crazy.
So that's why I like it. Right. Well, who wouldn't like that? Spending $3 on an item that retails for $180. I mean, that's
right. And I don't mind telling, but I've been shopping before and gotten a text saying, hey, Liz, look what we're putting out right now. They won't hold it for me, but they'll send me a text and be like, hey, we're putting this out. That market's bottomed out for me, kind of. Take that information with however you want. Another store we go to, I'm friends with the manager. She'll text me when she has an oversupply of something or when she's getting ready to do like a 90% off the clearance sale. She'll text me. She'll be like, Liz, be sure you're here at opening tomorrow.
Right. Well, and that's one of those things that like you hear people say like, oh, I don't like people to know I'm a reseller, or what do I do when somebody asks me what I'm buying this stuff for? And we've always said that more often than not, it seems that when people know you're a reseller, it leads to good things, especially if you build a relationship with them. So could you talk a little bit more, like obviously you've done this with more than one store. Do you have any tips for like how do you build that relationship with like
other than just be
manager?
Nice?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you're a friendly person, outgoing person. So do you have any tips on that?
Really, I'm just a talkative person. Even sometimes when the person standing in front of me is not the nicest, sometimes it pays to just bite your tongue. It really does. And I've done that before, or they're like, oh, wow, you know, and before my kids used to have a code word. Like when I was doing this and I wasn't comfortable, they would say, hey, Mom, what about the trip to San Francisco? The Bay, eBay. So our code word was San Francisco. Hey, what about our trip to San Francisco, Mom? I've gotten over that. I don't care. They're like, wow, you must have a lot of kids. I'm like, actually, I don't. I'm going to resell these to people with a bunch of kids. Do you guys have a discount I actually went into one outlet store while in Vegas, and they were running a special, a 1 hour special. They're like, if you're here 1 hour, here's a special. And I was a little bit hesitant because of the store. I'm like, man, they're not going to sell to me. And so I asked, I was like, hey, after I purchased a small, like 10 items. And I was like, hey, do you guys find resellers in here? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I'm a reseller and I actually want to buy like 50 of these. He's like, oh yeah, I got more in the back. You looking for any colors? So sometimes if I'm cautious, I'll just buy my minimum and then ask.
Yeah.
The other one, some people are like, do you resell? I'm like, yep. Do you have any deals or do you have anything in the back? I did it to a store going out of business. They're like, oh, what size are you looking for? I'm like, any. I'm just resell it. They're like, that's so cool. Can you use some packing paper and can you use some boxes?
Nice.
And do you want this? Because they didn't want to ship it back. More times, probably 95% of the time.
Yeah, it's more.
They don't care.
I mean, there are some stores like Target and stuff like that frown on resellers, and part of that has to do with people are jerks. It's like, when they have like an exclusive, like when they had Lily Pulitzer or whatever, when they do an exclusive like limited release of something, and the resellers come in and buy everything in an hour, and then their regular customers don't get anything. I can kind of understand like why they don't like that.
Don't be a dick.
But for the most part, like when you're going to thrift stores or even just, outlet stores, different things like that, it's like usually they like the resellers if you are not an asshole. I mean, I've seen plenty of resellers be really rude and they're like condescending and they're super entitled and they go in
and they're
the really
leave a
mess behind themselves.
They're really cocky. They're like, ugh, I'm going to sell this for you. They make people don't talk down to people that are in the service industry or that are working at a company or for an establishment that you want to have a business relationship with. You would think that would be elementary, but for some people, they can't manage to not be cocky jerks. Yeah. And, if you are kind, it goes a lot farther. I even do it with, garage sales and estate sales. Estate sales are harder here because there are very, very few estate sales and there are very few estate sale companies and there are a bazillion resellers. So they know we're resellers, but they don't give us any better deals necessarily, even though I'm nice. But there are, if I go to a garage sale and somebody has a lot of an item, I have no problem asking them if I'm willing to make a large purchase, can we do a deal? Or I'm a reseller, I'm looking for this. Yeah. Do you have more? Or if this doesn't sell for you at these prices, I'm willing to buy you all out and this is my price. Here's my card. Call me at the end of your sale.
Yeah.
I've done that many times and that has always worked out well for me.
I'll tell you, I went to Vegas or when we were in Phoenix, yard selling with you guys, because some people that we spent a couple days together in Phoenix and what we did yard sales. One morning. Well, it was like longer, but I didn't buy a whole lot, but just to watch these two, I don't know what size is that, like skillfully haggle. And when I say haggle, I don't mean, well, take this, but just to watch their ways was amazing because I don't do a whole lot of yard sales. So that was really cool.
I'm pretty good at doing the haggling thing. I'm not a jerk about it. And when somebody has a reasonable price, I'm going to pay the price. I'm not trying to get people out of their
shave off.
I'm really not. If somebody's asking $5 for something, I know I'm going to sell for $50. I'm not going to be like, will you take two? I just pay the $5 and leave. Yeah. That's common courtesy. But if somebody is asking a little bit too much and I'm going to buy more items, I'll be like, well, I can't do 20, but I could do 10. And sometimes we'll meet somewhere and sometimes we won't. I don't have a problem walking away from something that doesn't have enough margin in it for me.
Yeah.
Right. And that's part of it. And a lot of people, if you really are going to walk away, they will come back and accept less because I'm not trying to do it as a power play. I'm like, this is what I'm willing to pay. Mm-hmm. I know what I want to make and this is what I'm willing to pay. And if it's not okay with them, that's okay. They can maybe get what they want from someone else. It's just not going to be me.
Yeah.
I'm not an ass about it.
Yep. So that's the whole thing is to get those relations, kind of feel it out. And just keep going back. Know the manager's name. I'll tell you what I did. I have one source, and damn it if she won't text me and be like, hey, get here before. I have gotten stupid, amazing deals. I was in the store shopping, and I'll spend 2 and 3 hours in the store. They know. And the employees walk in, they're like, hey, Miss Liz, you want me to take your basket for you all? Miss Liz, thanks a lot, kid. Right? but they do. So she was going around one day taking orders, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm going to treat my employees. They've been working really hard. I'm going to treat my employees to happy hour at Sonic. So I pulled the manager aside. I was like, how much do you need? Tell them it's on me. So, and it cost me $40.
Yeah.
Trust me, I made $40 in one item that I got from them.
Right.
I can walk in there anytime and they're like, hey, I've walked in there and they're like, hey, did you get any shoes? I'm like, they're not at least 50% off. They're like, do you want shoes? I'm like, if they're 50% off, she's like, for you today, tell them I said so. So that $40 goes a long way. And I might do it 2 and 3 times a year for Christmas. I bring them little individual bags with little goodies in them. And I know one lady, she can't have the candy. So I'll just put something different from her. And I've been shopping here for like 3 years now.
Good.
Yeah.
Those relationships are important. It's like, we
and
can all
hard.
benefit from building those relationships, and you just have to, be cognizant of like, okay, what am I offering them?
Right.
You're never expecting that like it's owed to you.
Right.
And I feel like some people act like that sometimes.
They're like, well, I'm giving you my money, so you need to kiss my ass. No, it doesn't really work that way, because guess what? Most of the time they're going to sell the shit to somebody else anyway. It doesn't matter.
Or you're not going to find out about the special deals or the stuff that's still back behind, in the back room or things like that. So
yeah, it works out well if you're nice to people. The whole more.
Especially in retail,
works.
there's like so many people are so rude and inconsiderate, and it's like they go, I'm in a thrift store and there'll be like t-shirts everywhere, and I always go through, and it takes me a little more time, but I'll kind of straighten out the row as I go, because I'm just like, it drives me crazy. But it's having no consideration for the workers who are probably just minimum wage and working really hard. And it's like you build those relationships and treat people kindly. It goes a long way.
Yeah, see, Gary Legarski has a good, Tuesday Morning, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, that type of thing. Those types of stores are fantastic for resellers. I've always done very well there, but obviously those are not secrets anymore. So it's hit or miss what you're going to find. But when you know what their sales system is, and I've been out of the loop for a long time in going to those places, but when you understand their sales system and their inventory process, especially after certain holidays or right up around certain holidays, you can buy up some great stuff. I know Teresa is really good at that at Ross and Walmart and Target especially. Teresa does retail arbitrage, and she'll purchase things, for pennies on the dollar at the end of a season, and she doesn't care that she's going to sit on it for a year because she paid 10 cents for it and she's going to sell it for $10. Now, when you're doing quantity, $10 is fine at that kind of margin. That's all profit. You sell one and it's pure profit. That's not my model of business, but for people that is their model, she does very well with that kind of stuff. And I know, Liz, you do a lot of that too with your, a lot buying in bulk and buying cases of things. Even just when I was with you, I can't remember what it was. Was it belt buckles or belts or something that you bought? A crap ton of tie tacks. I don't even know what it was. It was something in a little box.
You know what? And that's so funny you mentioned that, because that was like the crappiest seller out of everything that I bought. So I went one day to the store. I got the heads up. I bought about 500 pair of men's shorts. They were marked down, and with my discount, I think they were I paid 89 cents a pair. 400 pair, MSRP between $60 and $80. I kept buying them. They kept taking my cart, and the manager came over and said, you need to see how much you have to make sure you can fit them in your Jeep. I was like, oh, shit. So my husband works like 5 minutes from the store, and it was right around quitting time, probably a little bit earlier. And I texted him, I was like, hey, are you at work? He's like, what? I was like, so he called me, and I was like, can I swap out my Jeep for your truck? He's like, well, I'm done. What do you want? And he just walked in and he just shook his head. They had to go get a flat pallet, right? Yeah. That's typically not my thing, but that was, to go that big, I was okay with. When we were together, I probably bought about 40, they were, what do they call, couplings. And I think I got them for like 69 cents a piece, and I think I sold one. Sometimes they're a flop. I could have bought more. Yeah. But overall, I mean, sometimes it's like, ooh, and sometimes I don't get reception, and sometimes there's just so much of the store I need to get to. I don't have time to sit there for 15 minutes and look it up.
Yeah, for sure.
But the investment was small. But these are the kind of things that I find to where if I can buy it in bulk, I will.
You take the risk. So Jillian has a question. Jillian has a comment right here. I just purchased my first wholesale lot. I did not source myself. I did the same thing this week. You know, it a little bit different, but still the same thing. It's scary. Just wanted to add something to my stock at this time. Anybody that watches the show or follows me in this, you know, me in the group, I source everything myself. I don't retail arbitrage. And if I do, it's something that I do in person, and it's a couple items here or there, and I'm not very good at it. So I don't do it a lot. I end up getting stuck with the crap. You know, it's just, I'm not good at it. It's not my forte. I want to have hands-on. I want to touch every item that I purchase. I personally pick things. I just did the same thing. So I purchased from another reseller that reached out to me after I'd made some comments about looking to buy some people's, you know, from profit piles. I purchased 125 items. We agreed upon a price. They happen to be in California, which is very close to us, so the shipping was reasonable. But 125 items, and you know, he was very accommodating and sent me several pictures. But for the most part, I know, you know, I've seen half a picture or one picture of maybe 20 items that I'm getting, and I just have to have faith that
that's going to be
a good buy.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that he has more. So, you know, 120, it was not a small chunk of change, not for me anyway. It might be for some people. But, you know, if it works out well, if the items are as portrayed and I'm happy with the delivery, then we're going to do another buy in a couple weeks. So it works, you know, behooves both of us that it's a good buy, because he wants a repeat buyer and I need inventory. So it's a little scary. I'm right there with you, Jillian. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm nervous about that transaction. I did several others with people on a smaller scale, but people that I knew from our group or from, you know, stranger friends that I purchased from. So that's a little bit different because they were much smaller purchases, and I'm okay with that. But these were big.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, when it comes to buying from other resellers, everybody has a different idea of what's good and what's a good buy, what's not a good buy, what is profitable, what's not profitable. And so, you know, I've definitely done lots of online purchases of stuff, and, you know, it's kind of it could be a crapshoot. So it's, you know, finding somebody that you can trust, that you can buy from multiple times is really good. So
yeah, and this might be someone that I purchased from, you know, another 1 to 2 times, and it's definitely helping him get rid of his huge pile and bringing in some cash, and helping me source. So now I have enough inventory for about a month, which is as it comes in. I have, you know, and I'm actually going to have Crystal do some listings for me. And she hasn't in a couple of weeks, so that'd be good. But it's a little scary to put the money out there and not necessarily know. I think that part of this job is always risk.
And even when you are there to pick it personally, it can
sometimes you pick duds.
Yeah, I know, like when I haven't done any retail arbitrage in a while, but when I've bought stuff from like Burlington and Ross and stuff like that, I will buy it.
You've had some duds.
I'll think this is a great buy, and then it's like 2 years later, I finally accept an offer, and maybe I made $5 on it after I spent $40 for it. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just like glad to have the money back because I'm like over it. But
yeah, I think that's this business in general. I think there's some risk reward factor in general. You know, you might buy something for $1 that you sell for $100, and you're like, woohoo, that's why I love this business. And then you buy something for $10 and it sits for 2 years, and then you accept an offer for 13. You know, it's what we do.
Yep. All right, guys, anybody in the chat, if you have questions for us or Liz, go ahead. I saw Jujasso asked if she says, I have a bunch of vintage, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Address? Address bras. Has anyone heard of the brand Address? I haven't.
I have not, but
I'm not a bra connoisseur. I have my one bra I buy on Amazon, and once every few months I buy a couple more.
You buy a batch of 5. Yeah, it's not a brand that I'm familiar with, but vintage brands don't necessarily last for long, and there are a lot depending on how old of vintage you're talking about.
Let's see, Jen says that Artis, maybe it's Artis. So, anyway,
okay.
Artis is great. So I don't know, guys. Let's see. Yeah, so here's somebody. I got burned hard buying from a reseller. The most profitable item was listed, wasn't there on arrival, and almost everything else was dirty and stained. Yeah,
So
it's
I'm
tough.
assuming that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
With this
I
transaction
think
that I did, I think I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
But if that were the case, I will say that if it's a reseller or anyone that you're purchasing from, and you're going to be using PayPal, and it's someone that you're not familiar with, this would be the time that you don't necessarily use friends and family. That's my only advice.
Invoice.
Get an invoice or create an invoice. You can create an invoice yourself. Make sure you use paying for goods and services, and that way you have some protection.
Yeah,
that's all.
For sure. I bought, because I do streetwear, I do vintage streetwear and stuff like that. And so I'm in like multiple Facebook groups that are specifically for like mostly dudes who collect and, either trade or sell or whatever, vintage streetwear. And there are a lot of them in there who are younger guys and not the most reliable, and aren't the most discerning when it comes to stains and holes and things like that. So,
or they think something's like solid fire and it's crap.
So I've done a lot of mediocre.
You've been burned.
I've done lots of mediocre buys before, but
you've been burned a couple times. But you've done better. You've gotten some really good buys, and then you've been burned a couple times.
Yeah, but overall, I've done well with it. So
you definitely just don't go shop from that person again if you're burned.
Yeah,
I mean that's the way it works. But
pretty much.
I agree with Connie. I think buying from another reseller is generally safer because they're trying to protect their reputation, so they continue to resell. I agree with that. I think as a whole, we have a very good community in general. So I think that buying from another reseller, even if it's someone you don't personally know, is probably safer than buying from a stranger. For sure.
Absolutely. Anyway, guys, we got a few more minutes left. So if anybody has any other questions or would like to know more about what's going on, how are things going in Colorado? You guys are pretty much on lockdown, right? But isn't your husband still going out to work?
Yes. So my husband's still going out to work. His office is at minimal manning. So they all have doors and whatnot. We've kind of even self-quarantined in the house. I'm used to not going anywhere. My son's a senior in high school. He's done online school before. He's in the next room next to me doing his work now.
Yeah.
Right? You're doing your work? Or he's playing video games or watching YouTube, not us. Right? But yeah, and we had snow last week. Today it's 70 and sunshiny, and we're getting snow again this weekend, just a little bit.
Yeah, somebody had asked if you were somewhere that was cold, and I was like, how's she gonna answer that? Because I know like one day you have snow and the next day it's like sunshine and you're in the 70s. So
that was my shit. Yes, no.
Yeah, no. I was like, well, in the morning or in the evening? Because that's kind of been how it's been. So we're used to it. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I went out today. How are your stores? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know what the world is like outside of here. My husband's been doing the grocery shopping every weekend. He's like, look, I'm already out in this every day, or he'll stop on the way home. He's like, why have both of us being in contact?
Right. Yeah.
So he's taking on all of that.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'm perfectly okay with that. We had to get a couple things for the house, and we did a pickup, and we both went. And I almost felt like it should have been illegal. I'm like, oh, both in the car together going somewhere. I think I was texting with you guys. I had to go to the post office because my mailman didn't show up for 2 days. So I was like, I'll just go drop him in the bin after hours, do the whole back. I think I was texting with you. I took his truck because my car still had snow on it, and I didn't want to wipe it down. So when he got home, I took the truck, and I got 10 minutes down the road, and I'm like, oh, infected steering wheel. This is disgusting. Right? So I'm like, oh, I don't even want to be in his truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all a little bit weird.
So you said your son is a senior. How's he feel about like his senior year kind of going out in a fizzle? Does he care?
He doesn't care. He's my good kid. He's my antisocial social kid. Like he likes to be social, but only on the Xbox.
Yeah.
He doesn't get, he's like, I don't even understand prom. That's the stupidest thing. Why are you going to spend all that money and just go out? Right? He's like,
that's good that he's not going to be that disappointed.
Some kids, it's really, it's a huge bummer. I mean, we were talking about it. I'm like, when I was in high school, I wouldn't have cared about, like, I enjoyed prom because it was just, fun to go to dances with my friends. But
I would have been
if
devastated.
prom would have been canceled, if graduation would have been canceled, all that stuff would have been canceled, like I would have been fine with it. The one thing I would have struggled with is not being able to spend actual time with my friends, because I had like a small core group of friends I was very close with in high school. And if it was like you can't even go hang out with them, because it's like even on like snow days or things like that, you'd find a way to go hang out with your friends. This, it's like that's off the table.
Yeah, I would have. I actually had my daughter my senior year in high school, but and I lived on my own. I worked full time and I graduated and all that stuff. But I will say that I still participated in graduation. I still walked the stage. I still went to prom. I did all the senior activities as a pregnant and young mother in my senior year because I was super social. So I think I would have been devastated as a senior. I'm not kidding. I think it would have been really hard for me because I tried to normalize my senior year as much as possible, considering I was a mom.
Yeah, and I have friends that were moms of seniors, and they did the same thing. And knowing how he's not antisocial. He's just like, he's a logical thinker. He's like, I don't understand high school. We don't even learn anything here. It's just a bunch of screaming and drugs and whatever. Like, he doesn't get that. He's like, this is just stupid.
He's ready.
But at the end of the day, he's been ready to be done.
Yeah.
Him and my older son are 180 of each other, total different kids, raised in the same household with the same everything, right? But at the end of the day, senior year graduation is big.
Yeah.
Senior breakfast is big. Even though he's like, I don't want to do it. I was like, but it's not, it's about you, and it's not about you today. It's about you in 5 years, so you can go back. It's a celebration of accomplishment.
Right.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
And that's kind of what I really feel. And I feel really, because I have friends that have kids that are seniors, and they are missing out on a lot. And I really feel for those kids that thrive on that social interaction.
Yeah.
I'm just,
it's sad.
so fortunate that he's not, but I also keep in mind that he is also just 17, right? Yeah. Like, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get the big impact of 5 years down the road. He real 10, even 20 years down the road.
These are rites of passage for a reason. Kids, it's something to look back on as an adult and different stages of your life. They're traditions and rites of passage. It is what it is. You look back on it forever.
It's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. So Chris wants to know, has anyone heard about 1099 workers getting unemployment? So let's talk about that real quick. So with the stimulus package, I know, I see a lot of people talking about like the whole, like, can we apply for unemployment? And then there's people saying, well, you can't because you don't pay into it and you don't have an employer pays into it. There were, with the stimulus package, they definitely supposedly loosened that up a lot so that it would include people like us who are self-employed, sole proprietors, stuff like that. The issue, and I see this in the chat, the issue is that a lot of states have not implemented it yet. They have not gotten it set up yet. They're still waiting. I was just looking at our Nevada unemployment page, and it says we are currently awaiting guidance from the Department of Labor to implement the various programs. And one of those is pandemic unemployment assistance, unemployment support for otherwise ineligible workers, including self-employed. And the status right now says awaiting federal guidance, last updated 3/31/20. So
I will say that they just opened it up to the state of Rhode Island. It is now on their website as of 8 o'clock this morning in Rhode Island. I only know this because I'm from Rhode Island and a lot of my friends are. So I'm seeing on Facebook a lot of my self-employed friends that are hairdressers and gig workers and smaller self-employed businesses are able to finally apply today. Do I know what that means? No, because none of us have seen it. So we don't know really what that means or what they're asking for your proof of income or your proof of self-employment or any of those things. I'm not sure. So
basically what I would say is whatever state you are from, go to your state's unemployment website. I'm sure there's going to be a page for it. I mean, I think when I looked for mine, I just Googled Nevada unemployment CARE Act or whatever, the CARES Act, and it'll come up and they should have information on there. But yes, we are supposed to supposedly be able to access unemployment. What that's going to look like, who knows? But you should just look and see if you can find the information for your state specifically and see what the deal is. Because I mean, they're having issues with it and implementing it. So who knows, right?
Yeah, it all seems like crazy to me. We also both applied for the small business loan grant, loan/grant that was available
Through the SBA.
through the SBA. And it was supposed to be a limited amount, and you were supposed to find out within 3 business days. And as far as I know, nobody I know that has applied, and I know several dozen people that have applied, have heard anything.
Yeah.
And it's been well over a week. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
I haven't heard back either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Chris, if you got a form to fill in her wages, she has wages at 1099. You go ahead and fill that out, because as a 1099, you are still paying her something. So you would fill in so that, yeah, your chest hair's itchy. Definitely fill in her wages to help her out, and she should be able to collect. It doesn't come from you, and you haven't had to have paid unemployment insurance, but as a 1099 worker with this new expansion, she should be able to collect.
Yeah. For sure. It's all just kind of up in the air, questionable, who knows what. You just want to try and pay attention to the information as it comes out. And yeah, and hope that we find out soon, because it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I'm making enough money to pay my bills. My sales are still okay. I'm not, personally, I'm anticipating not getting a penny from anyone in any way. And that's the way I have to live my life. I realize that is not an option for a lot of people, and people desperately do need the help that is available out there. I just hope that the help actually starts.
Yeah. I mean, I know
being disseminated.
My sales are down 40%. So it's definitely had a significant impact on my sales, and it was pretty fast, and like right when everything kind of starts shutting down.
And some people are doing fantastically. I'm down about 25 to 30%. So this is obviously still having an economic impact on me, as well as many other sellers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to apply for everything that is available that I qualify for, because let's face it, we pay into it. We pay taxes. I've paid taxes, and I've also paid into unemployment my entire life up until being self-employed. So if the things are available, I'm going to avail myself of what is out there, but I'm not counting on anything.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yikes. Anyway, all right, so we just got a couple of minutes left if anybody has any other questions. But yeah, like I said, guys, there's a lot of information out there, and it's hard to keep up with all of it, but you kind of just gotta keep looking.
It's differing state to state.
It is differing state to state for sure. So I wish we had better answers for you, but I don't know.
Is that sung to like the Ren and Stimpy show?
The Katie and Vicky show? I hope so.
Yeah.
Lady Luck Drunk.
Danica, I like your logo. Is that new?
That does look new.
I like
I think she's got a picture of herself.
Yeah, I like that logo. It's pretty cool.
We dig it. We dig it. I don't know. All I know is that definitely my motivation is down a bit, but I'm still getting through each day.
And trying to be as positive as possible. Yeah, that's a real good logo for Fiverr. You are like the only person I have seen that came out with a good one out of that. So,
well, the thing with Fiverr though is that there are good designers on there, but it's not.
Well, you got to wade through all the crappy ones first.
But you can look at like what their good one. Yeah, look at what their feedback is, and they're never $5 though. I'll tell you that.
Psychedelic says that you're getting an echo. I don't think anyone else is getting an echo, so that must be what you have, whatever system you're listening on.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, guys. Anyway, all right, so let's wrap this up. And Liz, thank you for coming on and wearing your awesome chicken not so little costume and your hairy chest and nipples in your armpits.
This was actually so the masked seller was Liz's idea, and I'm going to give her the full credit for that, and we are totally stealing it and running with it because it's a fun idea. So, we don't normally do interviews with other sellers. I think that there are plenty of YouTube shows that is their that's their format, and that's great. We just don't generally do that. But I think going forward for the next few weeks, at least, we're going to do that at least on our Wednesday show, because we just need some levity. I think we all need some levity. So
yeah. It's true. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you all. I don't know, Sunday, I guess.
Sunday.
And we'll actually have a haul. We'll have stuff.
Oh yeah, we will.
You're like, oh.
Chris Bradley said she was hoping for Bret Michaels. Yeah, I do know him, but not.
Sorry, I tried, but it just didn't work
Yeah, no, I don't know him that well.
No.
All right.
So yeah, I want to be on the other side. I want to be on the question asking side. So I can't wait till the next person comes in.
There you go. All right, guys. We will see you on Sunday. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Mask
And
up.
try to stay motivated. I know it's tough, even if you do things in little chunks. Do something good for yourself every day. Get outside, sit in your backyard, sit in your front yard, walk to your mailbox. I don't care, but get out of your house to get some sunshine.
Yeah. But it's also okay to completely give up for the day and be like, I've had it. Get into bed.
Just not every day.
Watch some TV. Shut your mouth.
Just not every day. It's not healthy.
Not every day, but you can allow yourself that. Occasionally, it's allowed. You don't have to be super productive and like.
Well, nobody says you have to write the next novel. And all those people on Pinterest saying they're going to write a book, they're going to bento box their kids' lunches, they're going to make everything from scratch. Fuck them. That you don't have to be that person. Just hang on to your sanity. Do the best you can, and don't let yourself get into a slump. Let's be real. We're not trying to say that this is the time that you've got to reinvent the wheel. Let's just get through this the best you can. So
and hashtag don't be a dick.
That's a good one too.
All right. Bye guys.
Bye.